Now, mixed news from some of Europe's biggest economies. Newly released figures show Spain's unemployment rate has reached a record high of more than 27%. 6 million Spaniards are now out of work. Later on Thursday, France is also expected to announce that it too has hit a record jobless rate, surpassing the unemployment figure of 1997. But there is some relatively good news from the UK. A new report there says its economy has grown by 0.3% in the first 3 months of this year.
In Italy, where it embarked on a package of public sector cuts and tax rises, but after a really long recession in February this year, Italians voted against more austerity, but what they've got in its place is political deadlock. Let's look at the situation now in Cyprus. It's actually one of the smallest EU members. A bailout deal worth $13 billion led to some really furious reactions because it meant customers with Cypriot banks as part of the package would lose up to 9.9% on their savings. In the United Kingdom, the government has spent the last 3 years trying to reduce public spending, but the opposition says that policy is killing growth. The government expects output to grow by just 0.6% this year.
Spanish unemployment has reached a record new high. The number of people out of work is now just over 6 million. Raising the jobless rate in the Eurozone's fourth biggest economy to 27.2%. The worse-than-expected figures will increase a debate over whether the government should ease off the budget austerity measures it's implemented to deal with Spain's burgeoning debt crisis.
Well, I think, Nick, the debate in Spain in particular has turned to a certain extent, and I think that the public narrative from the government has also changed in recent weeks. The government has been pushing that line that if you have more and more austerity all at once, so more public spending cuts, more tax increases, we already had a lot of them last year, remember, if you have more of that, within the context within which Spain's economy finds itself, such high unemployment, a recession that's gone on for nearly 2 years, the second recession in 4 or 5 years, an economic crisis which has gone on for 5 years in total. If you put more austerity into that, less money in people's pockets, essentially because of those tax increases and the public spending cuts, less money, public money going into the economy in general, that you're only going to prolong the economic crisis here. And that debate seems to be winning traction, not only here in Madrid, but of course in Brussels too.